right, folks, it's Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Let's get this show started. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show. Where we talk to you about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. That's right. The city that never sleeps. We are Las Vegas. I know. Remember that years ago, there was a guy who had a real deep voice, and he was on one of the news shows, but he used to say he was the voice of Vegas. He would go, Las Vegas. He had that real cowboy, deep voice and stuff like that. I am not that guy. So I'm more Jamaican, but it's all right. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas podcast and the Livin in Vegas magazine. Want to welcome all of our friends to the page right now. I'm going over to our Livin in Vegas group page. So if you're hanging out there, guys, I'm going to be on there in just a second. Sorry, I didn't take the time to do it this morning. I was kind of busy. If the truth be known, I was actually eating a bagel this morning. So, I know I get hungry sometimes. I'm losing all that my svelte, my whatever the word is for it. So I want to welcome you all to the show today, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, you're thinking living local. That's right, folks. We're a local broadcast. We're a local organization. We talk about anything that actually happens local. And today, Livin Local magazine, as a matter of fact, Livin Weekly magazine is coming out. Boy, that's a great idea to have a magazine. I won't say it again because somebody will pick up on it and maybe start doing it. But we've got a magazine called Livin Weekly coming out. It's coming out today. Got a story that I'll mention it during the first part of this broadcast, but I want you to read the article, so it's very, very cool. You'll get more in-depth on it. If you are on any of our Facebook pages or on our YouTube channel, thank you so much for being a part of it. We really do thank you for being a part of it. And if you would like to give a shout-out, you want to say, hey, how you doing, Sherm? How's the show going? You got a business that you want me to shout out about? Just let me know. Just put it down in the comment section below me here. And we'll shout it out. We'll tell everybody that you're watching the show. Hey, why not? Right? That's what it's all about. We want to help you. You're helping us. You're watching the show. We'll help you out. And if you have bagels, I know I had a bagel this morning. We have a magazine. For those of you, this might be the first time you're joining us. We produce Livin in Vegas magazine. And we really encourage you to go to our website, which is right behind me. So the other side. So right here, just go to this right there. Go to this QR code. It'll take you right to our website where you can actually check out the magazine, check out our videos, articles, always being updated. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to be updating our website even more. Because a lot of people just cannot they can't watch the podcast, they can't download it, they don't get our newsletter, but from time to time they'll go to our website. So what we'll do is we're really trying to be very consistent about uploading all the stuff we talk about here on the podcast on our website. Because there's tons of stuff we don't talk about. But I probably have, 15, 20 things that I want to talk about. I just don't get a chance to because I talk so much. Also, today, Livin Weekly magazine will be out, so you can actually check that out. This was last week, so this is ending this week. Our new magazine will be out. Oh, as a matter of fact, can I do this really quick? I don't think I'm going to have time to do it, but I was going to show you the new cover for the new one, for this week's Livin Weekly magazine, and it's got, what's her name? Plum. What's her name? Chelsea Plum? No, it's not Chelsea Plum. I'll remember it in just a second, folks. But she's Kelsey Plum. She is actually on the cover of our new Livin Weekly magazine. And the reason why is because she's the bad girl right now. I mean, she really has done a fantastic job, and we want to give her props. Okay. So, anyways, let's pay some bills here real quick, and I'll be back in just a second. Hi, it's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the show, folks. This is Sherman Ray, the Livin in Vegas podcast. It looks like we're actually getting more and more people on our group page, which is always cool. For those of you who don't know, we actually have, 3 pages on Facebook. We have Livin in Vegas, the group page. We have Livin in Vegas Mag, our magazine page. And we have the Livin Weekly page, which is for Livin Weekly magazine. All of them we're very active on, along with social media, Instagram, Twitter, that kind of stuff. And we have tons of people watching us all the time, which is great. And you can also get on our newsletter. So we have a newsletter we send out each and every day, which a lot of the stuff that I don't get to talk to you about on the morning podcast, which is on right now, we generally send out in our newsletter. And you can actually be on that newsletter. I mean, you really can. So I really encourage you, go to our website at livininvegas.com, and right on the sidebar, you can actually get to be a part of our newsletter. Or you can just send me your contact information at info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. So let's get on to a story here real quick before we have to break, because I talk so much. I maybe can get in 2 stories. This is really important, folks. First thing, this is Governor Steve Sisolak. Governor Sisolak just made a public declaration yesterday, or how would you call it? Proclamation. Yeah, he basically signed an executive order saying that the pandemic here in the state of Nevada is over. Mask mandates are done, and you can get back to doing you. Okay, that's really kind of what the guy said. And this is probably one of the best things that could ever happen to the state of Nevada. I can tell you, as somebody who knows this, that the pandemic has been... who would have ever thunk? Who would have ever thunk in America that we'd be in this place right here? So, I don't know how to say it. People, and we just heard about another business being shut down as a result of the pandemic. I have gone through 2 businesses during the pandemic. Oh yeah, because just when you thought things, and I heard this from another business owner, that just when you thought things were going to level out and people were going to get back to being Vegas, because we're used to it. We're used to in Vegas interacting with people. We're used to businesses being open, convention, tourism, all that other stuff. And every time you thought something like that was going to happen. So for some of you, this might be it might be your first time ever watching the show. I used to own a restaurant called Avery's Coffee, and I ran it for about 7 years, almost 8, a little over 7 years. And end of 2019, we basically just shut the doors. We just said, hey, this is it. Things are going sideways. And I started the Black Business Chamber of Commerce. We were working on that. As we're starting to work and build the Black Business Chamber of Commerce, we had probably 3,000 business owners. The governor said the mandate that we were going to shut down the state of Nevada. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it just did something to it. It just did something to us. And in the black community, it was multiplied because it was just, it's the way black folks are. And I can say that because I is one. So we had done golf tournaments. We were doing a TV show. We were, reaching out to people. We had all this momentum going, and the state just shut down. And every time we thought we were going to be able to do something, nothing else would happen. So 2020, 2021, we're just floundering, and I had to make a decision. And so what we did is we started Ray Media Group, which is the parent company of Livin in Vegas magazine. And so that's where we're at right now, where we're working on Livin in Vegas magazine, the podcast, Livin Weekly, doing all the stuff that we do. And as a matter of fact, I've got an announcement that we're going to be partnering with a great friend of mine. Her name's Tina Marie Hepner. And so we are going to be starting a series of events, expos that I'm very excited about that Tina has agreed to. And if you haven't met Tina Marie, she's just awesome. I don't know what else to say about her. She's awesome. Well, you'll be hearing more about her as the weeks go by. But we're going to be launching another great opportunity for business owners to get involved and get going in Vegas. And as Tina and I were talking about it, that is COVID going to play into all of this? And we're both going, please, Jesus, no. Please. Oh, please, Jesus. Praying, Is it going to be another thing that's going to just destroy a business? And according to Governor Sisolak, he says, no, we're done. Even though we're going to have to live with this. And that's really what we're getting from this whole thing. So we're very, very excited about that. Anyways, I think that's the only story I'm going to be able to get to this morning, folks. If you would like to watch the rest of this broadcast, go to our website, which is like right here. Just go hit the QR code. No, I'm not just putting a thumb up. There's a QR code right there. Put your phone up to the QR code, folks, and go to our website. It'll take you to livinvegas.com, and you can watch the rest of the show. We generally have it uploaded within about a half an hour, about 9:10, 9:15 or something like that. It'll be up, and you can watch the rest of the show, because I know a lot of you are really busy, and it's tough for you to get to the show. So, but for the rest of you, though, folks, especially if you're on YouTube or you're on, on our website already, we will be back in just a minute for the rest of the show. For those of you that are going to go out to EDC, all the other great events that are going on in Las Vegas, please be careful out there. It's really windy, and Vegas can be very treacherous when it's windy. Okay. So this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. That's right. When you think of Livin in Vegas, think of Livin Local. We'll see you again Monday, folks, for Livin in Vegas podcast. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. Thank you all for being a part of the show this morning. Let's pay a bill here real quick. I'm Sherman Ray. I should say I'm Sherman Ray, publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. Let's just pay a real quick bill, and we'll be back in a second. When you think of Livin in Vegas, think Livin Local. That's a good one. I like that. Livin Local. I'll have to get my bass voice into it, even though I'm a tenor. Maybe somebody didn't notice I am a tenor. I used to sing on the road. Matter of fact, one of my neighbors came over yesterday talking about some neighbor stuff. And my wife and her were talking, and, things slip out. And my wife says, oh, yeah, Sherman used to sing on the road. And she goes, what? She goes, what else have you done in life? I go, well, I haven't had a baby yet, even though it's 2022. They say I can do it. They go, and they both looked at me like, you ain't having no baby. You ain't birthing no babies. So, but yes, I used to sing on the road, and I did. So they were talking about Frankie Valli that one time, and I said I remember being on stage with Frankie Valli many, many years ago when I was singing on the road. No, I was not a part of his band. I was a part of another band. We just happened to be playing at the same venue at the same time, and it was incredible to be a part tr- of great bands. It's just fun. So let's get to another story. Over Many of you know that the Huntridge Theater area, the Huntridge Center area, is in reorganization, and they've been really going back to redeveloping that area of town. Now, was it a year ago? Not even a year ago, they had a contest where they were saying, "Hey, we want to give away a coffee shop," and they called it the Great Las Vegas Coffee Shop Giveaway. And they offered to build out a coffee shop or a space, a tenant space, in the new Huntridge Center at Charleston and Maryland Parkway. So Charleston goes east and west, and Maryland Parkway runs north and south. Okay, and it kind of curves and stuff like that. And folks, if you listen to this show long enough, you'll probably get it. The longest street in Las Vegas. Okay, the longest street in Las Vegas is Charleston Boulevard. Okay, I know some of you probably didn't know it, but it is. It's the longest street in Las Vegas, and it runs from basically into Sunrise Mountain, and it runs all the way through Red Rock Canyon. So it just runs and it comes out on the Highway 160 over near Blue Diamond. So if you want to get to Red Rock Canyon, just drive west on Charleston. You can't help but run into it. Okay, you'll see that big mountain. Just drive through there. So basically, right dead center of town was the Huntridge area, and that's an older section of town closer to where the original site of the city was. And there's pictures of it, and they depict the old Huntridge Theater. Well, over the years, it's changed, it's gentrified, it's gone down, it's gone up. But the Huntridge Theater itself used to be the place to go to when I was a kid. And I remember going there many, many a time. Well, it's an historical place, and for the last 20 years, 30 years, they've been trying to sell the place to get somebody to rebuild it, because it was a great theater when I was a kid. I mean, it's where we used to watch movies and stuff. Finally, somebody bought the place, and they vowed, hey, we're going to rebuild it and make it better than new. One of the things they were doing is offering to build out a space for a coffee shop, and they're going to give it away. So as the owners of the place said, hey, we thought it was going to be a pretty easy decision. We knew we'd have some people come in to take a look at it, but we didn't know how many people it was. 80 people submitted. 80. That's a lot. 80 people joined into this competition. Came down to 2 finalists, and they finally said, hey, we've got it. We know who it is. What's the name of the team that won? Winnie and Ethel's Downtown Diner. Okay, that's what it's going to be. There's a lady by the name of Mallory Gott and her fiance Aaron Lee. They were the winners of the Great American. I should say Great American. It's the Great Las Vegas Coffee Shop Giveaway. So congratulations to them. So it's gonna be still a while because they still have to go through all the permitting and all this other stuff to make it happen. But that's pretty darn cool, don't you think? You can't beat that for somebody who wants to make a contribution to Las Vegas. Well, in other news, folks, it's graduation time, and of course, it wouldn't be graduation without controversy. I know. So there's a group of Rancho High School students who said that, hey, they are pushing for a dress code change, because they want to be able to go down and finish out their school year. Not how we were when we were kids. When we were out of school, we just got out of there. I mean, barely. You know what you do is when you at the end of the your graduation ceremony, you have your cap and gown, you have your hat on, and you go, okay, hey, you throw it. Before this is how I was when I was at school. I don't know how you guys were, but before that hat hit the ground, we were out the door. We were just gone. That was it. We had waited for hours and hours and hours, years and years and years of schooling, hours and hours and hours for a graduation ceremony. We were just wanting to get out of there. That's all. We wanted to get on with life. Well, there's some other students who say, hey, no, we want to be recognized. We want to wear a certain, they call it a stole. And a stole can be, it's like a sash or, little insignia, some kind of insignia of or some kind of demarcation that says, "Hey, you are who you are." And Ashley Garcia Valladares said that her heritage is being, that she's not being, you're not recognizing my heritage as as a Mexican and Guatemalan descent, and you're being disrespectful because you won't let me wear this thing or a group of her friends. So I don't know how many students it was, but they ended up at a Clark County School Board meeting to talk about, not about education, not about, lunch. That's what we were always more about that. So here's the deal, guys. I graduated in 1979. Okay. Yes, we were the class. I went to El Dorado High School, and we were the year. We were called the Me generations. So it went the baby boom generation, which I'm a part of, to the years that I graduated, which was the Me generation, because we were about John Travolta, right? Ha, 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 still alive. That's where we were. We were about Bee Gees, we were disco, we were Earth, Wind, and Fire. We didn't care about anybody other than having fun and dancing. I got to be very honest. We were a very self-centered group of kids. We just wanted to have fun. We were love, that was it. So we didn't care about politics. Really, we didn't. Even though I cared about politics because during that time Jimmy Carter was the president, I remember that. The only reason I remember that is because we had gas rationing during those days, and I had just turned 16. Needless to say, I was one of the reasons why Jimmy Carter didn't get reelected. Because you ruined my teenage years because of the whole gas thing. It's the truth. I got to be very honest. So anyways, when we graduated, though, folks, we just wanted to get out of there. God bless these kids from Rancho High School. They want to make sure that they are recognized for their Mexican heritage or whatever heritage they have. They said they are not going to stop, though. They're not going to stop. They want to make sure that everybody recognizes who they are and that they are able to keep going. So let's talk a little bit about the Las Vegas Aces, okay, because they played last night. And so Jackie Young, folks, went off. She went beast mode last night in a decisive win, folks, over who they played. They played against Memphis. I think they played against the Lynx. Yeah. They are Minnesota, excuse me. Minnesota Lynx. Jackie Young scored a season high 25 points. Aja Wilson and Chelsea Gray both contributed 17 points. And you know what? Dearica Hamby, 14 points. And Kelsey Plum, my girl, along with Dearica Hamby, scored 14 points in a decisive win, folks. I'll tell you, they spanked these guys. Never trailed. They won the game 93-87, which gives the Aces the best record in the WNBA. I'm telling you, they're going to go all the way this year. They really are. Don't doubt me, folks. Just do not doubt me. Between them, UNLV, they are just kicking butt and taking names. And guess what's going to happen with the Raiders this year? Oh, yeah. The Raiders are going to pull it out this year. I'm telling you, they're going to probably go to the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but they are definitely going to go to the playoffs this year. All the stars are aligned in the right order for Las Vegas teams. Uh, and the Golden Knights, when they come back off of this year, they're going to be doing the exact same thing, folks. They really are. I'm very confident that this is the year of all Vegas sports to be doing something great. So this should be cool. Let's pay some more bills here, folks. We'll be back in just a second, okay? Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Wow. Hey, so that's right, folks. If you are a business owner and you would like to advertise, you want to be a underwriter on Livin in Vegas magazine, just contact us, okay? And we'd love to get you on the show. We actually we're going to be taping like 3 shows next week, so I'm very excited about it. And these are business owners. There's only a limited number of spots that we have open, so we want to make sure that we get you on there and that you're actually able to do some still cool stuff too. So how much time do we have left? It's a couple more minutes. Okay. So there was a local shop. I don't know if you're going to like this or not, folks. Okay. I'm going to put it out there. So many of you know that the Lake Mead Reservoir is been going down, and as a result of it, last couple of weeks, they've been finding dead bodies out there. And the reason why is because they were dumped out there many, many, many years ago. Some of them, I think they said about in the 1970s. Well, a local shop, Blasphemy Boutique, Las Vegas strip shop, selling Lake Mead corpse water. And tasteless, it's for adult use only, folks. It's for its entertainment value. It's not real corpse water. It really isn't. But they thought they would, jump in on the bandwagon and be funny, ha ha ha. I bet you they'll sell out. I would not doubt if a beer brewer doesn't come out with Lake Mead, Lake Mead Death or something like that, or I don't know. I don't know if that's cool or not, but it is what it is. Do I have time for one more? I do. I think I've got time for one more story. Yes, okay. Gerard Evans, folks. Gerard Evans is the quarterback for our Vegas Nighthawks, our indoor football league team. And he was named, guess what? Named IFL Offensive Player of the Week for the second time. That's right. So if you've not watched any of the indoor football league games, are you missing some fun? So Gerard Evans is just a beast. He really is. He's done some great things. Last week, threw 6 touchdown passes when we beat San Diego 68-23. Come on. How are you going to deny this guy? You cannot deny this guy his due. I mean, it just obliterated him. Who throws 6 touchdown passes? It just doesn't happen. But if you watch the indoor football league, it is like, and they play generally out at the Dollar Loan Center out there, and they've transformed that place into a full-on, I think it's only 50 yards. It's not a real long field, but it's like watching a hockey game with pads on, and it's so fast, so fun, high scoring. We thought when they first started that they weren't going to score that many points because they didn't score a lot of points their first game. Now they scored 68 points. They were not. When you get going, you start firing that ball down the court. It is what it is. They did a great job. So, very excited about it. Anyways, folks, we're at the end of the show today. If you want to get a copy of the show, especially if the podcast, go to Spotify. They've got it on there. Just Google Livin in Vegas podcast, and you can actually get the show, which is really cool. If you want to just be on our mailing list, send me an email at info@livininvegas.com. If not, folks, go to our website. Okay, right here, there's that QR code. You can actually check that out. Anyways, it's been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the events, the trends that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local. We'll see you again Monday for the Livin in Vegas podcast. Bye-bye.